Right, today we're on the banks of Wisley Mill. It's a bit blowy, but it's actually really quite mild for this time of the year, which will make the fishing a lot better, obviously, and it's a lot more comfortable to be fishing in, to be honest. So today we're with Dave Blackmore, and he's going to run us through some lure fishing, because it's the time of the year where a lot of people are out doing a bit of lure fishing for the pike and the perch. So we're going to sort of just talk with Dave about his approach and the sort of tackle he uses and the way he handles fish once he's actually caught them, which is a really important thing. So Dave,
morning.
First off, how do you approach a venue from sort of getting there? Do you sort of look for signs of fish? Do you look for the wind, or do you just sort of methodically work your way around the lake?
For me, the lure angling is a roving approach. So get my gear. I have a chest harness pack system, so I'm light, I'm mobile, and I'll just start working my way around.
Oh, right, superb. So, I mean, I know very little about lure fishing, but I do like a bit of fly fishing. And whenever I'm doing that sort of stuff, I'll sort of start in an arc, and I'll sort of start sort of 10 yards out, 20
face.
yards. That's
Yes.
it. And then I'll gradually sort of increase it. And maybe each swim I do maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 casts in each swim and then move on. Is that the same sort of thing as you do?
Yes, definitely the clock face, search the peg. I'm looking for features, I'm looking for depths. So quite often the first cast, if I've got a sinking lure, I'll just count it down.
Yeah.
Tells me how deep it is. When you pull it back, if there's weed on it, you know there's weed down there. Next cast, you count down, less one, and start your retrieve.
Yeah, yeah.
And so on. So you slowly work out the swims. Especially if it's a new venue, you've not been there before, you're looking to learn. You're not looking to catch, you're looking to learn.
Yeah, yeah.
You catch as a bonus.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just lots of casting around, changing the lures, changing of colours, changing of actions.
Yeah, yeah.
Just see what happens.
Right.
Eventually you'll pick up on the venue and start to learn
Yeah.
the good areas and the bad areas.
Yeah, yeah. So you say sort of changing of lures and different actions. Is there something in here that you can sort of show me?
Yeah.
Where what action and what lure does what sort of type of thing?
These are my slightly bigger lures. Carefully stored away, as you can see.
Yeah, I was going to say. Take you 10 minutes to untangle them all.
That is going to be one of my favourites, the old pig shad.
All right, yeah.
Rubber lure. Goes to the water, it rocks side to side. It's got a big paddle tail, lots of action. Caught loads of fish on these,
Yeah, yeah.
particularly on here. I've got various different colours in here, silver, blue, oranges. On the rod at the moment is a green and black variety.
Yeah, yeah.
I love them, they're brilliant.
Yeah.
Quite light, so you can bring them back across surface weed or shallow weed fairly easily. Clip-on weights for the front, so you
Right.
can hold it down if you need to.
Yeah.
Another classic lure is the slider. I'm sure everyone's
Yeah, I was going
heard
to
of
say,
the
even I've seen one of those, yeah.
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 Lovely lure, casts for miles,
Yeah.
really good, especially in a big venue like this. You can really search the water.
Yeah.
And then you've got your traditional hard crankbaits,
Yeah.
lots of different lip varieties, floating, sinking,
Yeah.
deep diving,
Now,
shallow diving.
talking about the lips, now you can educate me a little bit here. When you see a lip that's shallow, is that a lure that is going to go deep, and then you get other lures? It's quite a steep sort of angle. So which is the deep ones and which are the sort of shallower?
This lip here, which
Yeah.
is a 45 degree, 30 to 45 degrees, that's a floating lure and it goes down to 2 metres.
Yeah.
This one here, stepped lure, again, but this is a sinking lure, goes down to 5 metres.
Right.
So the larger, the steeper the lip,
Yeah.
the deeper down it's going to go.
Yeah.
I've got some Salmo Hornets with very large downward lips, and they go 13, 14 feet
Right,
quite
yeah, yeah,
happily.
yeah.
So yeah, it's. I know the old days you used to get the Abu high-lows with the adjustable lips.
Yeah, yeah.
They tend not to get them these days. They're
Yeah,
all
yeah.
fixed. So you
Well,
have
they
to-
want your money. They want you to buy another
yes,
lure.
yes. Oh yes, yes.
they don't want you doing the same with all.
Lures are like floats.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
never got enough.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll bet you use the same ones time over time.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
you've got your favourites.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So what sort of rods are you using for whacking these these things out, sort of grams wise?
For rods, well, that box there is my heavier, up to 80 gram lures.
Yeah.
These are my slightly lighter, smaller rubber, single large hook.
Yeah.
Probably weighs 10, 20 grams.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've got a rod that does up to 30 grams, and I've got another rod that does 30 to 80.
Right.
So I've actually got both rods with me today, and
So
I'll walk around with them.
You essentially match the rod to the lure
Yes.
gram wise. So
Yes,
a
yeah.
big gram rod would struggle to cast a small lure and
Yes,
vice versa.
because you need the
Yeah.
rod action to
Yeah,
to
yeah.
cast
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
So right, yeah. I mean, now that's all the business end, if you like. Now sort of you've hooked your pike and you've played your pike and you've whooped and hollered like John Wilson used to do years ago. What happens next? You know, I see you've got a rubberized landing net there. You know, so what happens once you're at the point of netting that fish?
Right. My thinking on nets is, and my mates laugh at me for carrying this thing everywhere because it is huge. It's a massive net, lots of mesh. But my thinking is, my next cast could be the 20 pounder.
Yeah.
My next cast could be my only 30 pounder of my life.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I've got a net that will fit it.
Yeah.
So this is what I use. If I'm perch fishing, I'll still carry it just in case.
Yeah.
I've got a magnetic clip. The other half's on my harness, so it hangs by my side at all times.
So it's easy reach.
I'm wandering around, hands free. I'm fishing quite happily. So once I get a fish, I just pull it. Magnet comes off. Open it up with my legs normally. Handle slides out, and I can net my fish.
Yeah.
Once I've netted it, I leave it in the water. I don't pull it out straight away.
Yeah. Is that just to give the fish a bit of time to recover?
Give the fish a chance to recover, and myself to get ready.
Yeah.
So now I've got this fish. He's got a mouth full of teeth. There's trebles flying around. I'm
Yeah.
not going to rush into it. On the back of my harness is my unhooking mat. So that will come out first. Because obviously pike, although they are the freshwater sharks, they are extremely delicate.
They're certain. They're a bit like me, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, ugly looking, what have you, but
You have.
delicate underneath.
Yeah. Nice, large, long unhooking mat. Get that down the floor. With that ready, I'm not going to put my fingers in his mouth because it hurts.
Yeah.
I'm sure all pike anglers have been there.
I've been there, yeah.
So, I again clipped my harness, pair of forceps, which I can quickly unclip, ready to use. I've had them since I was a child. They're very old. Also, very important,
Biscuits.
biscuits, yes.
Yeah, biscuits. They're very important.
Carry a spare pair
Right.
in case you do lose your first pair.
Yeah.
Because you're not unhooking a pike without them.
Yeah.
And absolutely vital, big pair of wire cutters
Yeah.
in case it's deep hooked. I've been carrying these for years. I've only used them twice.
Yeah, I was going to say the chances when you're lure fishing is remote. But
Yeah.
Nobody would ever want to leave a lure or any hooks or anything like that.
No.
Now, when you sort of cut them off, do you sort of like then try and get the bit that you've cut off out, or do you just say, well, you know, look, I've done my best, that's going to work its way out? Or
Yeah, when you're cutting off, you're basically looking up to sort of the barb,
Yeah.
so the thing's going to come out easily, or just on the bend. So you're only talking a small length of metal,
yeah,
which is just going to fall out once it goes back in the water and
yeah,
starts
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
water through it. It's just going to wash out.
yeah,
It'll just disappear.
Yeah.
But then you can get the treble out safely.
yeah. More importantly, don't put it in your hand as well.
Yes.
Because if you're the more you're fiddling around, and I've done this through experience myself, you know, you're fiddling around trying to get hooks out and what have you, and there comes a point where you're then starting to get in trouble, and you could quite easily stick it in your own hand. So
Yes,
it would be
it
a lot
hurts.
easier just cut them out,
Yep.
get as much of the hook as you can out of the fish in the first instance, and
Yep.
then, you know, hooks are replaceable. So
Yep.
you know, big
Fish
big
aren't that
pike
easily, yeah.
aren't quite so easy to replace. Right, happy days. I think that's covered pretty much all of what we want to do. I mean, the big message here is, you know, and I say this to the guys whenever they come over to the junction, you know, treat our venues like they're your back garden, and more importantly, treat those fish like they're your mother, you know, and pike in particular are are very susceptible to bad handling. Doesn't matter if it's cold, you know, this sort of fallacy that, oh, you shouldn't be catching pike in the summer and the winter. It doesn't matter whether it's summer, winter, autumn, whatever. You know, treat them with a bit of respect and try and keep them out of the water for the minimal amount of time you possibly can. And hopefully Dave's given you a couple of tips there to help you on your way. So thanks a lot, Dave.
Can I just add,
Yep.
if you are struggling to unhook the fish, don't be afraid, put it back in the water.
Right.
Let it rest, let it breathe.
Yeah.
Then you can have another
Patience.
go.
Yeah.
Helps you to calm down and focus on what you need to do. The fish is then recovered. I've done it myself a few times, 2 or 3 times, been in and out of the water when it's been awkwardly hooked, but the result is he swims away.
Yeah. Excellent. That's superb. Well, thanks a lot, Dave.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
See you on the bank. We have a perch. Not quite the intended target. Not a bad fish at all. Been in the wars, so hopefully the camera can see that. Yes. Brightened up in the morning.